Hello, everybody. I'm thrilled to welcome Jenna Webb to the podcast today. Jenna serves as NAELPA's Outreach and Events Coordinator, where she supports member engagement and helps plan high-quality professional learning experiences. She's also an independent contractor who partners with education organizations across the country to design events, many of which focus on supporting and uplifting multilingual learners. So, Jenna, as we head into another amazing annual NAELPA conference, it's so great to have you here with us. And I just want to thank you for making time for today's conversation.
Thanks so much. Happy to be here, Joby.
Awesome. So, in your role as Outreach and Events Coordinator, you play a key part in how educators experience NAELPA, often through their very first point of contact and simply through major events that you help plan. So, can you talk a little bit about how outreach and events work together to engage current members, but also bring new people into the NAELPA community?
So NAELPA, I always call us a little small but mighty organization. And so it's so important to keep the communication going with our members and potential new members. So we're always doing outreach and getting our name out there to show everyone what we do and how we can help them. Because in that small but mighty vein, it's so important to rely on each other from the shared experiences and just really lean on each other to continue your profession and serve the multilingual learners.
Awesome. So, what approaches have you found most effective in making educators feel welcomed, informed, and excited to participate?
Yeah, especially with our in-person conferences, because it is more of an intimate setting. It's just getting to see people in person and talk to them and just really realize we are in it together. So that's been the most rewarding part of this work is just getting together and seeing people in person.
Yeah, I think that's so important. I think so many of us took that for granted. And then, when COVID hit and we all had to move to remote, I think we started to realize just how much we need that in-person interaction. So I really am so proud of NAELPA for kind of getting back out there. I think you were one of the first conferences that came back in person after COVID. I remember that first experience and, the social distancing and all the masking, but you guys got right back out there and got, people together that first year. So just want to say thanks for that, for being, willing to take that risk and try to get everyone back together when, we were coming right out of the pandemic.
Absolutely. And NABE, who we partner with and co-conference with, they have been instrumental in that. And I still remember in the planning stages. And then speaking of COVID, we had like the Omicron variant, I think, came into play. And we thought about, oh, can we really do this? And NABE really helped us make it happen. And so we're forever grateful for them. And I remember them telling it's a magical place because it was New York where we first went back
Yeah.
in person. Like, oh, it's so magical. I'm like, okay, we can do this. And I'm so glad that they gave us that extra nudge because it was absolutely worthwhile.
It was a great conference. I still remember that conference, and I just remember how engaged everyone was and how thankful we all were just to be back together and to be able to continue to support each other in the work. So thank you
Absolutely.
for your leadership in that. So as we head into this year's NAILPA conference, obviously outreach plays a huge role in building excitement and accessibility for the event. How have you specifically, or NAILPA in general, approached outreach this year to help educators get connected before they even arrive?
Yeah, so we are always really trying to be active on social media and share all of that out with our presenters who help us then network with all of their people and get them excited to attend to see them. We're so grateful for our presenters who most of the time donate their time because we are a small organization. So we're super grateful for them and that network. And then new this year, you'll start seeing our little push here is that we are asking all of our board members and committee members to share out that they're attending and just to really get the excitement and just remind everyone who you get to be in touch with when you come to NAELPA. Because again, I keep saying it, we're that small but mighty organization. And until you get there in the room and then you really feel the full impact, it's hard to describe. So I encourage everyone to register. You still have time because it's just a really rewarding experience to get together with everyone.
Absolutely. So for all of our listeners, get registered and then share out that you're attending and help pay it forward for others who maybe don't know about the opportunity this year. It's in Chicago. So exciting place to be. And a lot of times it's centralized so people can get there pretty easily from just about anywhere.
Yes, absolutely. We're so excited to be in Chicago. It's kind of just the perfect city for that diversity and multiculturalism. So we're very thankful to be there. And as you said, it is a centrally located place that so many people have easy access to get to. So we're excited.
Awesome. So what would you say to someone who's going to be attending NAELPA for the first time and kind of just wondering what to expect?
Yeah, just get ready to be fully immersed in the experience. We have a lot of collaboration opportunities this year and a lot of networking. Every year when we survey our attendees and sponsors who come to the conference, they always give high remarks and high points for us having so much networking opportunity. And so this year is the first time in a long time that we are exclusively in person.
Hmm.
And so you won't miss that opportunity to network. And then we're really trying to capitalize on that opportunity. And so that has been at the forefront of all of our planning. So I guess just get ready to, put your networking face on and don't be shy and don't be scared to talk to anyone because we're all in the same boat and everyone is just really willing and ready to share. And even if it's just to shoulder to cry on type thing too. I mean, it's just it's a really good uplifting group too, not just a shoulder to cry on, but just
Yeah.
a really good uplifting group as well.
Yeah.
But it's yeah, in these times that we're in, we need to, rely on each other, and you definitely get that. So just bring your networking face for sure.
I love that. And something that you said that makes me think about one of the things I think sets NIALPA apart from maybe other events is just it's more intimate. So, you're there with maybe 100 and 150 other people versus like 3 to 4,000. So, and you're together the whole time pretty much for both of the days, which, again, it kind of builds that really like intimate connection where you have a lot of time to talk to each other. You have a lot of time to sort of, you know, seek out someone that's at another table or someone at lunch. And so I've always loved that about NAELPA, just that, it's very intimate and it's like, you're together for the full experience versus, picking a ton of breakout sessions and being a part, the entire conference where you don't even run into half the people that are there, right? So I really love that about the NAELPA conference.
Yes, thanks for sharing that. Because I would say probably 60 to 70% of the conference is just
Yeah.
all together and collaborating and being with each other. One of our things that we implemented, I think it was 3 years ago when we first started it, and it's back every year now, is our table talks. And
Mhm.
so we have a plated lunch on day two, and we have led discussion during the plated lunch. And it's an hour and a half lunch, so it's not like you have to feel rushed and that you're not eating. It's not homework while you're getting to enjoy your lunch, but it's just a lot of topics that are on the people's minds, and so that has been a favorite of all of our attendees.
Yeah, so you sort of headed down this path, and I'm just thinking about from your perspective, in addition to like the table talk, are there any other session formats or learning strands or conference experiences this year that you're personally especially excited about?
I would say we had the wonderful opportunity to be part of a collaboration with WIDA and ELPA 21 in the fall. And it actually was in Chicago, coincidentally. But there was just so much momentum behind it. It was a collaborative effort about, collaborating with each other. And I was a part of the virtual component of it. And based on all of that momentum, we prioritized having a couple sessions really, one before lunch on day two, and then follow-ups after lunch. And I'm just really excited to see all of that come together. Some people may have experienced the September collaboration, and then others it will be brand new. And so I know, Joby, you're going to be a big part of that, and I'm super excited for everyone to experience that. When things come full circle, I think I get extra excited.
Yeah, goosebumps, right? Like, oh, things
Mhm.
are coming full circle. I
Yeah.
love that because I do think, to your point earlier, just, there's a lot of change going on right now and a lot of shifting landscape in education. And so, having this opportunity to really bring what's working and maybe what's not and what's changing and how to manage that change. I mean, I think we all benefit from thought partners and just from learning what's working in other places. So I love that NIALPA is always prioritizing those conversations in all your events, not just the conference, but in everything you do. So thank you for being that space for all of us to come together and really continue to support one another and really being that voice for ELMLs. So a big part of your work for NAELPA involves creating those spaces, not just the national conference, but spaces throughout the year where educators can learn, connect, and feel affirmed in this work that we're all doing together. Can you just share a moment or an example from one of the NAELPA events where you really saw the impact of the work that we're doing as a collective at NAELPA on educators or leaders. So if you've seen some sort of just outcomes from this work, whether it be, the webinars you host, the chats or the conferences, just maybe one example.
I would say just all of those quarterly webinars in general. We do 4 webinars a year, and they're free to anyone. So that's always great to see that non-members come together with us and learn. But then almost always we start out our webinars with like drop in the chat where you're from, and it's just great to see some of the same people coming every time, but also some new voices every year. So I just think that's the best way for us to really, stay out there and show people what we're doing, and it's free and they're recorded and so people can watch them back if they've registered. And so I just always love those opportunities.
That's awesome. And I wonder just how many of our listeners and viewers even know that's an opportunity, right? So we need to make sure everybody spreads the word. If you are taking advantage of these free webinars, make sure you're, spreading the word in your district and out in your local community so everyone has a chance to benefit from those free opportunities. So thanks for sharing that out. And I know also in your role, you get a chance to see all the feedback from the conferences, from the webinars. What's a piece of feedback that really stood out to you when you read it? It's just like, oh, what's something that just sort of stuck with you?
I would say these come from our sponsors.
Mhm.
More than one has said how wonderful it is for them to be in the room with us. So we are unique in that. I'm sure maybe other conferences do it, but I know in this space we're kind of unique to that, where everything does happen all in the same room, with the exception of a few breakout rooms. So our sponsors are there partnering with us, coming up with solutions, hearing what's a problem, and we're really in it together. We really are. And so that always stands out to me like, wow, that really means something to someone that we're in the room and they're engaging with everyone. And so we're a little bit more intimate in that respect and a little bit more selective with our partners. And we really do call them partners because we are in it together all year. And then new this year, we have a partnership opportunity with our open roundtable discussion. So we're super excited about that for a company to be able to. It's actually, Summit K-12 is our diamond sponsor this year, and they power these podcasts for us. And so they're an example of really being, partners in education with us. And so we're excited to see how that turns out as well.
Awesome. So kind of along that same line of thinking, as NIALPA continues to grow and expand its reach, are there new ideas, formats, or just directions that you're exploring to strengthen that engagement and professional learning that you'd like to share on today's conversation?
I would say we're definitely working on growing our membership.
Mhm.
So membership is included in conference registration, but we do know that people have a harder time traveling now and things like that. So we're really trying to grow our membership and get creative. So if you're listening and you are an organization that also serves multilingual learners and you'd be interested in partnering with membership, definitely reach out to us because that is a big focus in 2026 is membership growth.
Awesome. Thank you so much for sharing that. And again, like it's been such a joy of mine to just watch NAELPA grow over the years. I think I may have said this on previous episodes, but it's been almost a decade since I was the past president of NAELPA, and man, looking at it now from like if I would have said to my past self, this is where NIALPA is going to be, 10 years from now, I don't know if I would have believed it. It's just grown so much. And all of the changes that, the leadership team has made have been so powerful to extend beyond our state educational agencies and welcome in our local education agencies, and the work you're doing with sponsors, just so much good work. And it's not lost on me how much work it really is and how much heavy liftings happen and the work you do behind the scenes that sometimes, people don't always see, right? Just all those hours and days and nights that you spend making sure that all these events go not just without a hitch, but that they're so engaging and so powerful. So I just want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart for doing the work that you're doing, because again, it's just grown into something that I don't know if myself as the president when I was would have even seen possible. So
Well,
it's so
thank
exciting to see it.
And if you're watching and you want to get involved, just Joey's proof that we keep you involved.
Yes, you know what? That's absolutely another true benefit of the NIALPA work is just that, once you are a member, you will always be a member. The collective work never stops. We never stop needing the support of one another, and NIALPA just provides that connective tissue forever, once you're part of it. So 100% I agree with that. So looking sort of beyond this year's conference, how do you see NIALPA events continuing to evolve to meet the needs of multilingual learners in the field?
Yeah, so I had mentioned this is our first year in many years going back to exclusive in person, but with that, we do still want to service people who can't travel and want to hear our work. So we are save the time frame. We're trying for a virtual summer conference, and we'll actually be surveying our members to kind of get a pulse on what's going to work best for schedules and things like that. But that is something we're focusing on for the rest of the year as well. As we didn't want to just drastically say, hey, only in person now, because we do know that many people really grew to love that virtual experience. And just for many reasons, we had to prioritize in person only, but we don't want to lose sight of the virtual component. So that will be a big focus after this conference.
That's really good to know. So thank you so much for sharing that. So as we sort of head into wrap up, I want to just, I guess, from a personal perspective, how do you see the work that you're doing with NIALPA connecting to your individual commitment to supporting multilingual learners and the educators who serve them? I know this is a passion of yours. I know you give tirelessly of yourself. So just share a little bit from a personal perspective how you see this work committing to broader multilingual learner support.
Yeah, and I think Joby, you know this from other conversations, but I'm kind of an accidental multilingual learner advocate. I started planning the MABE conference here in Michigan about 8 years ago, and then just kind of going along this theme of just networking, and we are this close-knit community. It was, word of mouth that next thing you know, I'm planning several conferences that relate to multilingual learners. So that is why it has become a huge passion of mine. And I don't think you're going to get rid of me anytime soon because the people are just fantastic and the partners we have are wonderful. So I just look forward to continuing to grow those partnerships. And, it is a fine line to walk. And I feel like I do an okay job of that. And so just continuing to foster those partnerships across all the organizations I work with. And I just take great pride in keeping those connections, but also being professional about those connections.
Yeah, I think you give yourself not enough credit for how professional you are and how you do support so many different organizations and really just do a great job of giving everybody the individual attention they need, but also continuing to keep those connections across all of the different organizations that you support. So I've been watching you and you're doing it masterfully. So thank you so much for that.
Thank you, Joby.
So, just as you think about the future of multilingual learners and education here in the country, what's one piece of advice that you'd like to leave our listeners with and our viewers?
Just don't give up. Don't give up. I feel like a few colleagues of mine had to kind of talk me off a ledge a little bit because I am newer to this world. And it was like, we've been through this before, Jenna. We're going to get through it again. So I would say, yeah, never give up.
Awesome. That's great advice. And I want to just again thank you for sharing your insights and for the incredible work you do, not just behind the scenes, but here in front of everyone, public facing as well, to bring the NIALPA mission to life through the outreach and events that you coordinate. And then to everyone who's listening or watching, we encourage you to stay connected, attend events, and engage with the NIALPA community as we continue to learn and grow together. And I truly believe that together we can, and we will in Chicago next month and beyond.
Thanks, Joby.
Thanks, Jenna.